words. Doctor, could you please come up?
It was the story of how Moses freed God's people in Egypt, and God was always by his side. With Moses' faith in God, God was able to create miracles. My favorite part was when God's people escaped Egypt and the Pharaoh of Egypt with his army chased after them. Then the ocean stopped God's people from going on. Some lost faith, but Moses kept his faith and with his rod struck the water. The water moved away and made a path so the people of God was able to continue on. While I was learning this, I remembered at the start of last year's summer vacation, my dad comes home with workbooks for my siblings and me each. He said if we finish the books, we would get to go to the beach by July, or else we won't go. So on the final day, I'm in the pinch of trouble with recipes. 20 pages in a few minutes or till at bedtime. I was determined to finish. My dad, by the split second before bedtime, said that we can have more time, and it made me relax a bit, but continued on. At the end of class, I thought to myself, keeping faith in yourself, never try to lose it.
You know that in the beginning of our Sunday school, I promised to our children, I will give you a gift if you have the top attendance. So this is the time I would like to appreciate our children for having the top attendance. So I would like to invite Dr. Ann and Mrs. Ann to give away the certificate. Now, let's give an applause to Dr. Ann. It's really awesome to have Dr. Ann and Mrs. Ann for the ceremony as parents to give the certificates to our children. So I will call the names according to the class. First, I will start with the pre-K. Pre-K, the top attendee is Teresa Rose Matthew. Teresa, please come up. Okay, next is from pre-K, Humare Jimbo. He's the next one. Humare Jimbo is here. Humare. Come up, Humare. See the certificate. Okay, the next one is Shinji Takino. First grade, top one is Leilani Shamarinia. Leilani Shamarinia. Wow. Let's give it a little applause. Smile, please. Candy's here. Next, the second question goes to Maika Edamatsu. Congratulations. Okay, great. Next, third position will goes to 5 people. Yashitimo Kogawa. Yashitimo Kogawa. Congratulations. Stay here. Next is Narito Sumaraya. Narito is here. Okay. Next one is Tetsuya Uchida. Tetsuya Uchida. Okay. Next is Shinya Uchida. Shinya Uchida. Still they don't realize. Okay, next Marcus Velasco. Marcus Velasco is here. give a big hand to everyone. Thank you, yeah, I finished. Thank you, Dr. Nanwar. Children and also the parents. Without the parents, they cannot come. Anyway, so I really want to express my gratitude towards the family. So let's give another round of applause to the families. So now, actually, we are almost done. For that, I really want to say thank you to our teachers. They were really, dedicating themselves, and also the helpers. See, we have maybe 20 to 30 helpers for each class. I don't think all of them are here, but I really want to express my gratitude from church, and also, as a parent to them, and also we were really working as a team to bring up our children. And I really want to say to parents that now the summer vacation is there, and we almost done the Sunday school, but it's not finished. Actually, the real work is in your hands. So you have to be, all of the summer's excitement and enjoyment. Don't forget to give a kind of spiritual taste also every day. Gather together and pray at least one time a day before go to bed. And also, get to know your child more and be a friend of them. So I think we all can work together and we can bring up a very exciting and very good generation for our God and true parents. And this time I really want to appreciate all of our staff here. Could you please come up and the Sunday school teachers.
More concrete for me. So instead of just learning reading on your own. When you have to teach someone, you really have to understand the material. So I think that was a really good lesson for me. And in our class, we were talking about history of true parents. And I know many of our parents in first gen have a lot of experiences with true parents. And I encourage the parents to talk to your kids about what kind of experience you had with true father and true mother, so that it becomes real for them too. And so the kids, don't be shy, ask your parents, how did you join the church? What made you come here? And ask them tough questions, and you'll be surprised what they know. So thank you to everyone, and it's a great year.
Anybody else want to share something? The teachers?
We have two students from our class that want to share about what they learned and the project that we worked on. So invite up Poli and Nanami.
Are you serious? Wait. So, what am I known for? Short sermon. Aren't you happy? You know, I was given, so I'm going to just get right to it because it's already almost afternoon. I was asked to speak this week about attendance. But you know, this word attendance has always been a problem for me. And I think for a lot of Western people. The idea of attendance, you must attend school or you must attend the king. It has such a feeling of obligation and duty. And somehow it's missing the heart for me. You know, when I spoke to one Japanese sister, because I think that if from an Asian perspective, attendance has a different meaning, and in fact, she confirmed that I was correct in that. She said, you know, attendance has such a beautiful feeling. Anyway, many of the parents who are Asian, their children have been raised in Western culture, and there's a good chance that attendance doesn't have a good meaning. And since we're reading the Hundegate, this is the age of attendance, we might all want to consider something about it. What is attendance and how we go about it. Today is the kickoff day, actually, for the God Bless America tour in California. And you know that, or God's Hope for America, sorry, God's Hope for America tour. And that tour, the theme of it is to remember, to revive, and to reimagine. So I want to take that word attendance and see if we can remember it, we can revive it, and we can reimagine what a world of attendance would be like. Okay? So, as I was preparing for my sermon, I decided to start by looking up the etymology of the word attendance. Etymology is not a definition, but rather explains where the word came from and how it developed. And the word attendance, of course, the group to attendance is to attend. From the Middle English, to attend refers to how one applies their mind and how they use their energy towards something. So mind and energy, or attitude and behavior. And from the Latin, attendere, the ad is referring to, and interesting, tendere is to stretch. So to attend, we must stretch ourselves. So in the service today, I'd like to look at 3 questions in particular. The first one is, who am I attending in my daily life? Next, how do I direct my mind or my attitude? And how do I apply my energies every day? How do I behave? And the third one is, am I stretching myself in my daily life to attend in a greater way, or improve my ability to attend? So let's begin with the first question. Who am I attending or giving my attention to? Oh. I have to reorganize. Who am I giving my attention to? I didn't give attention to the order of the pages. In the Genesis story, before the fall of humankind, it says that the first human ancestors walked and talked with God. That is, their attention was upon God. God dwelled in their spirit, and they saw through God's eyes. They heard through God's ears. They touched with the hand of God. They smelled with the nose of God, and they loved with the heart of God. Now this is a very curious, it's going to go up. This is centering on ourselves after we had become completely one with God. You have to know this clearly. Even though you would live, think, and love centered on yourself, it would be the same as living, thinking, and loving centered on God. This is the principle. It's kind of an interesting quote. We were meant to be centered on ourselves, but we were also meant to have God within us, so that we would be always expressing God and expressing our love to those who represented God. Our life would constantly be a life of attendance, of interacting with godly nature. You know, it often strikes me how simple the principle is that we can be doing anything in our daily life, working, playing, serving, conversing, teaching, driving, singing, anything at all. But if we're doing it out of duty or out of obligation, out of resentment, or simply doing it without thinking, it is absolutely meaningless. But as soon as we place God at the center of our life, allow God to participate in our interaction with others, as soon as we do that, we're bringing love, we're bringing joy, and we're bringing an offering. Because it becomes a shared act. And God becomes present and is participating in that act. So who am I attending or paying attention to every day? We are going back to the original time, the time before the fall, when we are actually attending God. We are meant to share our life with God, and God is meant to experience joy through us every day. The next question. How do I direct my mind, and how do I apply my energies every day? And I'll respond with that with two stories. You know, I like to tell stories. My stories today. My stories, I think actually, as adults, we oftentimes get frustrated with our children for the things that they're doing. I say this not because the adults here, no, I don't say this for the adults today, but also for the young people here, that, you know, we did all kinds of things as well when we were young. Oftentimes we forget it as parents, but this whole experience of not attending well is something that we had to learn. And our parents were patient with us, and therefore we must be patient with them. You have to be patient with us, and we have to be patient with you. So that's the introduction to my stories. I want to assure you today that I am a different person than I was when I was younger. Probably most surprising to most people would be that actually, when I was young, I never smiled. I was very, very serious. I did change. But that's not what I was going to talk about. I want to talk about something else. Rather, I want to speak about my and my sister's poor attendance to our parents. And I'm going to start with a story, my story. And it has to do with the responsibilities I had in the house, my chores. And my chore was to do the dishes. I shared this chore with my sister Donna. And I'm sorry Donna's not here. She would really appreciate this story. I hate dishes. I think I've said that before from this pulpit before. I have always hated dishes, and I continue to hate dishes. My sister Donna loves doing the dishes. And even to this day, when she comes over, if there are dishes in the sink, Donna does my dishes. But that wasn't the case when we were younger. We used to do them every other day. But when it was my night for the dishes, always after dinner, somehow I always had to go to the bathroom. You know, I stayed in the bathroom until my mother got tired of asking me to do the dishes, and then she did them. That made a problem because the next night, it was questionable as to whether I did the dishes or not, because I didn't. But that was my night, so then was it Donna's turn or my turn? And it always made a problem, always made a problem. Actually, it made such a problem that finally my father went out and bought a dishwasher. And then the next night, the next 2 weeks, we used to fight over who was going to put the dishes in the dishwasher. So my dad pulled the plug out and put the dishwasher into the porch. We never used it again. That was it. And that was his education to us. I'm going to get back to that story in a minute. The second story is, in fact, not my story. This is Donna's story. I had one similar to it, but hers was much better. So, when she was about 15 or 16, one night my father called her from downstairs. He called her by name, Donna. My father was Italian-American. Are there anybody has an Italian-American father? No one. For a couple last stories. That's a special kind of father. My father called Donna, and Donna stood at the top of the stairs and she said, "What do you want?" He didn't answer. So she said it again. "What do you want?" And there was a silence. And then he said, "Come here." So Donna went downstairs and he said, "When I call your name, I want you to come and stand in front of me and look at me." So she looked at him. And he said, "Don't look at me like that." So she put her head down. And he said, "When I talk to you, I want you to look at me." So she looked at him again. And he said, "Don't look at me like that." And so it went. We learn not only behavior from our parents, but also we learn attitude. There is a behavior on how we are to attend, but also there is an attitude that we have to learn in attending. The reading that, in today's reading it said, "I'm not saying that you should force yourself to lay down your life to do if you don't want to. I'm saying that you should joyfully and be willing to do that. Would God want you to lay down your life if you're totally miserable doing so? Or would He prefer it that you were intoxicated with love and not knowing whether you would live or die, you dance with joy while laying down your life? Which one would He prefer?" I'd ask which one my parents would have preferred. That I joyfully did the dishes, or that I hid in the bathroom until my mother did the dishes? Which would my parents have preferred? My sister yelling from upstairs, "What do you want?" or respectfully coming downstairs, looking with love in my father's eyes and saying, "How can I help you?" Attendance is more than behavior, but a willing and joyful attitude of attendance. It is an expression of love. In yet another reading from the Chunseongyang, in the same section on attendance, we read earlier, "From now on you should live a life of attendance. Up until now, a life of faith brought salvation. But from now on, you attain salvation through attendance." Originally, if humankind had not fallen, we would be following a normal path by attending God. And attending God, you should attend Him wholeheartedly and in your daily life. So, how we attend God is so important. How we behave before God and before one another, and the attitude that we bring is so important. And the final question is, am I stretching myself in my daily life? Generally speaking, it's not natural for us to be walking and talking with God. But in fact, that is what the life of attendance is about. Even as it took my parents a time of continually guiding us, giving guidance to correct mine and my sister's behavior over the years, so has it been God's continuous word guiding us to enter this new age of attendance. God led Judaism to uphold and serve one God. And prior to that, humankind was serving and attending many, many different gods. But through Judaism, God was able to teach there is one God, the God who is to be attended with heart. And that was done through an age of law. And Christianity can attain salvation, or Christians can attain salvation through an age of faith. But now, God leads us not simply by faith or by law, but rather God leads us, unificationists, but not simply unificationists, but all people beyond race, nationality, and religion. God leads us all through a life of attendance, that we must be able to go back to that original state of oneness with God through an age of attending. It says in the Chansamgyang again, we must live a life of attendance and welcome the kingdom of heaven of attendance and also practice. So attendance is not simply something that comes naturally. We must practice attendance. In other words, we have to stretch ourselves to include God in our daily thoughts, attitudes, and actions. We must learn again to walk and talk with God. So in my conclusion, I want to just look at those three questions again. Who do I attend? And the answer, of course, is we are meant to attend God. And how do I direct my mind or attitude? And how do I apply my energies each day? How do I behave? I do that to include God in all that I think and do. And most important, am I stretching myself in my daily life to include God? If I am, then my life takes on the value of God. And God takes on a substantial presence in my life. It amazes me sometimes when I think about how simple that is. How can we go back to that original time when God can be so very present in our everyday life, our every moment? So as we go forward through this week, remembering that this is the kickoff day, this is the day to remember, to revive, and to reimagine how we will attend God. Let's stretch in order to attend God. Let's stretch to return to God's original ideal, and to stretch to